5 Nutrition's Exalt is comprised of 3 performance blends. We put these blends together, we thought about hydration, mental focus, a pump. First of all, with hydration, we looked at the electrolytes. We want to make sure we have potassium, Himalayan sea salt, magnesium in this side of the formula. We looked at mental focus, we wanted to add things like neural factor and alpha GPC. We looked at the pump, we wanted to add things, of course, like Hydromax and Atrostogen. All these things combined is what I look for in a premium performance pre-workout supplement. These things combined will allow me to enhance my workout and make sure I'm getting a good training session after training session.
Welcome everyone to the female bodybuilding channel. JB is over there in the building, and today we're joined by a very special woman, IFBB Pro Women's Bodybuilding, Whitney Armstrong. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
We are happy it's Corona season, but we're happy because you're here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I first saw you during Savannah Pro.
Yes.
That was your pro debut, correct?
No. So I have been an IFBB Pro now for, this will be 3 years. I got my pro card in 2017.
But was that your women's bodybuilding pro debut?
Yes.
That's what I meant. Yes. So we saw you on stage, and I said to JB, oh, who is this tall woman with this great structure, great width, conditioning was a little bit, but we were like, oh, who is this woman? And tell us, who is Whitney Armstrong?
I tried to mentally prepare myself for some of the things you're going to ask me, but Whitney or myself, I'm just your regular everyday girl. I fell into competing purely by accident. I started my journey just as a regular transformation client with my coach, Terry Davis, here in Charlotte. I just said, hey, let's do a show. After I'd lost some weight, did a show. I started in figure. And
let me stop you there. When you said
sure.
Lost some weight, tell us a little bit, what do you mean?
I lost, he put me through a 16-week program for tone up, lose weight. Just that's all I wanted to do when I first came to him. Because I was always an athlete. I played basketball. I was a rower in college. And right now I referee college basketball as my main job. So I travel. So I have to be on television, on ESPN, things like that. And so I have to be in shape. And that's how I came to him. And so when I first joined him, I lost about 35, close to 40 pounds.
In how long?
In those 16 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was intense. That was when I first started meal prepping. I did not do that beforehand. And I felt great. Obviously, it stands out, you're fit and you're in shape and everything. And I said, yeah, I've lost this weight. Let's do a show. I had no expectation of winning or doing anything. I just said, I'm gonna try it. And the first contest prep kicked my ass. I'm sorry to curse, but it was hard mentally, going through something like that and not knowing what to expect on the other side. I went into it. I just said, hey, I'm just happy I made it this far.
Let me just stop you 1 second. Were you sure? You just did a show. Were you following bodybuilding at all at the time, or?
At the time, no. I was totally green. I just was like, I'm just gonna do this and just see what happens. So this was back in 2016.
Okay.
And I won. I won the overall. And this was in figure. And I said, okay, sure, this is great. Let's do one more, because my parents, they thought I was crazy. And I just did one more show after that, which was the Europa Games show, which was in Charlotte that year. And I won the overall there too. So my coach was like, hey, let's go do the Miami Nationals, the NPC Nationals. And I'm totally, again, that was my humbling moment. I went there and got 13th or 14th place out of like 19 girls. Got my butt handed to me.
In figure?
In figure.
Was it the conditioning that was off, or was it the size? So what's the
size? I
Okay.
needed to be more muscular, but that's what lit the fire under me that led to the Whitney that you know now. I said to myself, that will never happen again. And that following year was the year that I turned pro. I went to Junior USA's and I lost by a tiebreaker. So I ended up getting second there. You know, and going from, you know, not placing to second place in less than a year, you know, was a big, you know, big accomplishment for me. And then 6 months later, again, I went back to Miami and got first call out and I won my class and won my IFBB pro card. So that's how I turned pro. And how it all ties back into women's bodybuilding is after turning pro in figure, I was always borderline. I could have gone to physique. I didn't have to do figure. I could have started in women's physique, but I was scared. I'll be honest about it, about putting on the size and then doing a routine. I had never done something like that before. And finally, you know, we got the feedback after my first showing in figure, and again, didn't place. They were like, you're just too big. You need to step up. And I said, okay, well, let's go to physique.
Oh, that's just JB. We like that. You're too big, correct?
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, carry on.
So, you know, I did 2 physique shows. And again, same thing. You know, these girls are, again, now, especially now that I see it now that I'm in bodybuilding, I really see the difference now. They want those girls, especially after the Olympia, this past Olympia, which I did watch and I loved. They want a certain look for physique. And so this year, even with COVID going on, I started prepping for a women's physique show, which was going to be in Louisiana. Yeah. But 12 days out, I've been watching the women's bodybuilders. I saw Andrea in Omaha when she won, and I love her. I think she's beautiful.
You're very, very
yes. I've always followed Margie. I love her I love her femininity. Her muscle is beautiful. And she just carries it with such like grace. And so I started looking at more of those women. And especially this year, when I saw the look that they were going for, I just said, you know what? At 12 days out, I switched. I said, I'm just going to go to Savannah. I said, I'm not expecting anything, but I want to get my face out there because I think I think I need to go to women's bodybuilding.
So we saw you at Savannah, JB. We didn't know nothing about you, Whitney. We just saw people were just like, oh, look at the structure, look at the potential. Conditioning wasn't prime time, but we saw something. But after that, I've been paying more closely attention to you. And you told me, AJ, I'm going to bring the heat. Just watch.
Yes.
And tell us what's happened after Savannah.
So after Savannah, like I said, between your channel and you guys have been very supportive of me. After Savannah, like really like right after until now, which I love that about you guys. So thank you. I had a lot of people reach out to me, you know, same thing as you, like, who are you? Because I guess the women's bodybuilding community is so small. Yeah. They're like, who are you? We've never seen you before. You looked great in Savannah. You know, they said, well, you maybe could have placed higher. And I said, you know, I appreciate it. Thank you. But, you know, I wasn't training for this. You know, let me train for this and then you'll see a big difference. So that's what I really kind of hit the ground running. I thought about doing Chicago and I said, no, I need the time to grow. I need my legs back. I was doing 2 hours of cardio, trying to suck down to women's physique. And before I switched over, like less than 2 weeks out from that show. So now, again, we hit the ground running. My legs, everything has grown exponentially. I'm eating a ton and I love it. 6 days a week I train. I take 1 day off to rest. I have to force myself not to do anything because I really need to recover, especially after what we've been doing. And then also my coach and we came to an understanding afterwards. I told him, I said, all these people have reached out to us afterwards. They saw the potential. We need to use these people. So now my coach, Terry, and he's handling my training aspect, and then Shelby Starnes is handling my food. So they're working in tandem together to be able to bring the best version of me to the stage in 2021.
How much have you gained since Savannah?
As of this morning for my check-in, I am, and I have no problem saying this, I'm 221 pounds.
Oh, JB, 220 pounds.
And I'm 5'7".
How much did you compete at in Savannah?
If I had to make a guess in Savannah, I was maybe like 170 something. So
you should have been what? Realistically, 160.
I honestly don't know, because I feel like for Savannah, even if I would have came in at 160 or more conditioned, I would have still looked smaller in comparison to the other girls, because I wasn't training for that division, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I didn't have the added size, especially in my legs.
So what have you done, excuse me, but what have you done now with the training? Now you're training as a women's bodybuilder and not women's physique. What changes in your training have you done?
Really, we, after the show, we reached out to, there's one particular judge that I reached out to, afterwards, and she gave me the feedback instantly, and she said, this is what you need to bring up. And I said, all right, cool. But my training style has really not changed a ton. It's just, we really focused on getting the strength back. And so we started pushing those heavy numbers again. Like today was even my heavy leg day. And on my heavy leg day, I usually do 10 sets of squats, 10 sets of 10, so 100.
Wow.
And I don't do crazy weight. We're just more trying to like literally like blow up and make the muscle stronger, make it bigger. And so that's why I always joke and I say I don't need much time to put the size on, because that was my issue when I turned pro. I just kept getting bigger and bigger because of how I train. The weights, the amount of numbers I think I'm reaching now, I think we were doing like 315 on back squats certain days. Like we were really pushing it. Like,
this is good, JB. I'm a former basketball player myself, and Phil Heath is a basketball player, and Whitney. When basketball players wants to do something, there's nothing. Correct, Whitney?
Yes, that's true.
We know a lot about Shelby Starnes. We heard 1,000 times before, but tell us a little bit more about your coach, Ryan. What was his name again?
Terry Davis.
Tell us a little bit more about him.
So I met Terry when I was 25. Again, I had no desire to compete when I met him. And he just literally, like, what you see, the body that I've created now, I owe to him. And to a certain extent, too, I owe a lot of the success that I've had when I referee and when I travel for basketball for college to him, too, because I look drastically different. Like, they want athletic women. They want athletic minority women out there. And so I owe a lot of that to him, because my physique has changed so much over the years. When I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh gosh, I can't believe how much I've changed. But he's amazing. He's probably one of the most humble people that I've ever met in my life. I am in Charlotte by myself. My parents are about 3 hours away. So if there's like an emergency or if something goes wrong, like he's one of the first people that I can call because he's close by. And the rest of my teammates, they're all awesome too. And he doesn't have a gang of athletes. He doesn't have like 100 people. It's a really tight-knit group of ladies that he has, and we're all in different divisions. Most of them are figure. And we have one wellness girl and a few bikini. But I'm the only bodybuilder, and I'm fine with that. But he also had a girl go to the bikini Olympia this past year that he trains.
Oh, that's actually JB's second favorite division there, bikini, JB, correct?
Really?
Yeah. JB is a big bikini fan. He's got posters of Isa Piccini all over his wall. But anyway, yeah.
Go.
Were you happy? I was about to say he was probably happy with the Olympia then for bikini then with Janet.
Anyway, let's go through some question. You saw the Olympia, of course, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
Give us your thoughts. We're going 2 classes, women's physique and then women's bodybuilding. Sarah Villegas beating Shanique. Reaction.
I was shocked. I think everybody was because, Shanique is hands down, like nobody else looks like that. And so I think we're her shape, her shoulders, everything. She has like the true X frame. Honestly, it really reminds me kind of like Linda Murray, just probably as taller. Because I think Shanique is about a half an inch or so, or an inch shorter than me. I was shocked. I did not see that coming. But I can see why maybe the judges felt that they needed to go that way. It seems like maybe they were going for a different look. I mean, Sarah came even when Sarah came from the year, like last year, she came. I think she was in the top 10. I think she placed 10th last year. Excuse me, in the year before, and then she jumped up to the 2nd place in a year. So her conditioning was amazing.
For me, it wasn't a surprise at all because it was a surprise when it happened. But I know Sarah Villegas and her husband, the amount of dedication, the hunger she has, and I saw the picture. And conditioning was just crazy.
It's beautiful.
Shanique's conditioning. You remember, like a month ago, we wasn't that impressed. It got better and better, but. Yes. It just shows you can't just Olympia. You got to go all in, huh?
Yeah, you can't get comfortable. I think that was not to say that she did.
No, we don't know her, but we don't know if she got. Yeah,
right. You have to especially if God willing, if I ever was ranked number 1 in the world, I would feel like I have to work even harder because now it's like I'm the standard and people are going to be coming for me, And I feel like just because once you get that title, now the work really needs to start even more to maintain it.
The other one in women's physique that was really cool. What do you think about the girl in 4th, Barbara Minaj?
Yes.
JB, is she 50?
Yep.
So Barbara Minaj, 50-year-old woman with no one knows who she is other than, of course, Female Bodybuilding Channel.
Yes.
From France, bold woman, meaning not a very, what can we say? Not a very mainstream look, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
She just turned pro, but she was pro before, so she's not a new pro really. But
okay. And
she got 4th in the world with no promotion, with no hype, doesn't speak that much English, bald head, just killing it. What's your opinion on that?
I love it. I mean, I used to have short hair myself a few years back, and I begged Terry to let me go on stage like that when I was in figure. And he was like, no, that's not what they want. And I mean, now looking back, I get it, especially in that division. But I love it when a woman is just out there and she's just confident with herself. I saw her when she won her pro card at the Europa show over in, I believe it's in Spain, correct?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, she got it in Spain, and I loved her look. I thought it was so cool. And I love how these athletes can go from a pro qualifier the next day go into a pro show and they win sometimes. So that's awesome. And that's what she did.
She amazing. Yeah. She beat Valentina Machina. She beat Anne Moon. She beat Evie Rain. I had her beating Natalia Coelho too. But anyway, she looked.
I mean,
she looked crazy.
Looked amazing, especially at her age to do that. I mean,
50 years old.
Yeah, 50. Okay, and I love the bald head. I love it.
Women's bodybuilding. Give us your JB first. You haven't said much. Women's bodybuilding. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, very much. I want to know, Whitney, what do you think about the strike Andrea did at Olympia?
First of all, I will have to say I'm glad they brought it back. Because it gives me again something to aspire to, especially next year. With Andrea winning, for me, it really showed me that there's not much more that I have to do in order to get to that. And what I mean to say is I don't have to be right now I'm 221. I don't want to be 250 pounds or higher than that.
Are you sure? I'm just
I'm sure. Trust me. I'm sure. I don't want to be too big because I guess because my thing is too, I still want to keep things, in line, symmetrical, and still obviously too feminine. You know, keep it like that way. But with Andrea winning, I love her look. I think that her shape is beautiful. The deep lines, the deep separations, just everything. Like when she walked out, when I saw her in Omaha, that's when I was like, whoa, like it was beautiful. No one else really to me looked like that. And I said, that's going to be the standard back in Omaha. And I was hoping when they did the Rising Phoenix, I said, I hope they give her a shot, because that's, again, like, it would be nice to see like a new, I guess you guys have been calling it like the new era, or like the future. And I'm like,
no, the future is now, is what I said like, this whole year.
Yes. And that's really what I'm like, yes, we need to start kind of ushering that in, because I don't think that they will take it away again with Jake running everything now. But I think that they need they need a little bit of young blood in there to make that division really more, like, to pop more, in my opinion. So her winning is great. I think she's a great champion. I think she's gonna be a great representative for the division. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Thank you.
JB, anything more, JB, you want to say?
Not for now.
No. One thing, though, a quick thing with this size thing. There's not so many women bodybuilders really that weigh that much anymore. The only girl, what can I say? Amazonka is what, 220, but she should be lower, so she's not really 220, if you know what I mean. Irene Anderson is pretty big, but she's also very tall, and she's what? Well, how much is she, JB? Well, how much is Irene? 190, 180? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, about that. 180 something.
Is she taller than me?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't she, JB? Yeah. Monique Jones, one of our favorites. I
love her.
she tells us she doesn't want to say her weight, but I don't think she's more. I think she's in the 180s. So there's no girls 220. Is there, JB?
Let me think. No, I cannot remember. But I think we heard some interview where a lady said, okay, she wants to be more than 220.
On stage?
Yeah. No, stage. Off stage. Off season.
I mean, right now I'm 220, yeah. And I mean, I don't know what my stage weight would be yet. If I had to guess, maybe like 180. But I'm letting my team figure that out. I'm just gonna eat the food and train.
So modern day women's bodybuilding is not mass monsters, if you know what I mean. It's muscle, but you don't have to be, you know what I mean. It's a step over women's physique, correct?
No, I would say yes. You know what I mean? I guess my only question was, like, when they took it away, and I think that's what I asked my coach, you know, I said, if they took it away, you know, what are they gonna, I guess the question was, what are they gonna reward when they bring it back? You know, and I think that was what was kind of always in the back of my mind, especially crossing over. And as a newbie, I said, how are they gonna reward? What are they gonna reward once it comes back? So for me, you know, with Andrea winning again, I was for it. I think on that day, she looked the best, you know, and then obviously, again, she was #1 ranked, winning the Rising Phoenix show, you know, a few weeks prior. But I thought she looked the best, and going forward.
JB, you know who's watching this, who's not feeling all this talk? You know who that is, JB?
Oh, tell me.
You know Hella Trevino. She is hungry. She doesn't. I can only imagine. You know, Irene Anderson, Monique Jones, Margie. There's a lot of people who want that rematch. Anyway, so now we have no shows coming up right now, Whitney. We don't know if there's going to be any shows. Arnold Classic, we don't know if it's good. We don't know anything because people are not. JB, yes?
Yeah, Tim Gardner announced in May there will be a first show in Florida.
Women's bodybuilding show?
Ooh.
I don't know the classes yet, but it will be pro qualifier and pro show. And maybe he put on the women's bodybuilding class. I think so, because it's Tim Gardner and he does always.
So time to just stay positive and train and eat, Whitney? Correct?
Yes. We have an idea as to when we're going to start, but I mean, I started prep before and my show kept getting pushed out and pushed out. I don't want to go through that again, but I think I'm more mentally prepared for it if it does happen. Last year, or excuse me, we're still in 2020, but no one predicted anything like this. And so now I feel more prepared if that does happen. And then again, like I said, I have two of the best people like in my corner, like working with me. So I feel very confident going forward in how I'll do. So I'm excited either way. But hopefully my goal is June.
JB, you say something to finish, and I'm gonna finish, and then she's gonna finish it. So JB, your final words for Whitney.
Okay, thank you very much in first place for coming in. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for your opinions, and for the next year and for the future, I will cross fingers, and I think we will see a lot of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So Whitney, I saw you at Savannah. I said, "Oh yes," and then you said, "I'm going to turn it up." And a lot of girls, no, not girls, a lot of athletes say that and they don't. But you have already proven you have. So I'm looking forward to your next show, whenever it is, because we're going to see improved conditioning. We're going to see more separation. We're going to see a little bit more size. We're going to see better stage presence. And we want to see you in the first call out, correct?
That's the plan. No, I'm super excited. And thank you guys for having me. Thank you, JB. Thank you, AJ. Yes, and thank you so much for always being supportive of me since I crossed over. And thank you guys, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it.
Where can people follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram. My handle or my IG is at Cairo_Triumph on IG. And my name is Whitney Michael, so that's how they'll find me if they search for my name.
Okay, and it's a wrap, ain't it? And let's hope this Corona season is by May. It's going to be over, guys. Correct?
Yes, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Point.
Okay, Whitney. Have a great day, and we'll be checking on you on your Instagram. And stay positive, stay strong, huh?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
So what does it feel like training on 015 Nutrition's expansion? It feels like that extra expansion, definitely. You get that extra pump in the muscles, that extra blood flow, and that mind-muscle connection as you get that pump. Just feeling those muscles get full and full and full. It's definitely something that you like to experience.